Hi guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Friday, so you know what that means. It is Follow a Sketch Friday. I'm going to be using this page maps sketch right here. I'm also going to be using a bunch of pocket cards because I'm trying to get a hunk of these bad boys used up. Pulled out a selection of thickers and I have some Disney food photos. So let's see what I can do. Now I'm using the Iron Gate stencil from my shop, scrappingreflections.com, and I'm using it and I haven't cleaned it off yet. So yeah, there's my dirty little secret. My stencil has been inky for a couple days and I haven't cleaned it. There we go! But it's okay because I am using blues and greens again. I've pulled out a couple close to my heart ink pads, my Pink and Main blending brushes, and I am just going to go at it. So I picked the teal, the blue, and the green color because I figured they would be an okay match for the cards that I had already picked out from my stash. Now, they aren't going to be a perfect match, but what they are going to do is be close enough to the colors so that when I mix all the blues, the greens, and the teals together, it's going to work out just fine. So I'm trying not to really have too harsh of a line. Now the background in the sketch does look like it's a harsh line, so that could have been, you know, a piece of paper. I decided to use it with a stencil instead. Now, these photos are covering up a lot of real estate on this page. Even though the sketch calls for a 3 by 4.5, I'm not going to trim my photos down that far. I'm going to trim them down in about a 1/2 inch on each side, or a 1/2 inch each way, just because these are close-up photos of food. They might not be the most Instagram-worthy photos, like they aren't stylized and they're not at the perfect angle and all that kind of stuff, but these are real food photos that we took pictures of, and we were super excited about the food that we ate. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my hexagon punch. I am going to copy right off of that sketch and use hexagons. I don't exactly follow the placement. I kind of go in the general direction, but I do my own thing. And that is the beauty of a sketch. Sometimes you can follow it exactly, sometimes you can just get inspiration from it, and sometimes you can take it and run with it. And in this case, I feel like I took it and followed it pretty closely, but there were parts that I ran with, so I am going to mat these photos on some gray cardstock, and that was definitely a conscious choice. I was thinking about adding in a pop of black cardstock to this and adding in much more black elements to the layout than I did, but I'm kind of glad that I kept it more neutral. And I know that that seems weird to say because black is a neutral color, but in this case, I'm glad with what I came up with. I don't use the thickers that I had originally planned on using. I had pulled out these thickers for specific reasons and specific pieces, but I just decided that the way the layout was going, I was not feeling it, so I just used other pieces instead. Now I am using my black foam tape roll from Brutus Monroe. I had pulled it out for another layout. That layout is getting ready to come up on my channel. It should be up a few hours after this one goes live. And I had it out because I was doing a pop-up on a black sheet of cardstock. Since it was handy, I used it. I do have a little bit of a trouble peeling it off because my fingernails are atrocious right now. And, you know, sometimes I go through phases where I can grow some really beautiful nails and sometimes I just break them all off. And right now we're in a break them all off, rip them all off time. So they're not that great. Now I am going to make sure that you see this stenciling through the left, the top, and the right, just like in the sketch. And you guys, I have got to tell you that the ink blending through this stencil makes me ridiculously happy. This one just, there is something about it. It just brings like happiness to my soul. I can't even describe it. Sometimes you get a stencil and you just love it, and you just love a color combination, and blues and greens together through this stencil. Yeah, we're talking my language right here. And maybe it's because there's no pink in it. I don't know. I love pink in scrapbooking. I know that there is a mentality out there that there's too much pink in scrapbooking. I love it, but I also love layouts like this. And I love layouts that don't have pink in them, like red, not red, that's too close, like orange, blue, and green. That color combination together, yes, love that stuff. So I don't know. I guess I'm just waxing poetic about all the colors right now because I am a super huge fan of color. I am taking that hexagon bad boy, and I decide to go ahead and punch out hexagons out of all of the cards. Now, I thought that I was going to be able to punch out that star card in a way that you would only see blue and green, but I realized quickly that you were not going to only be able to see the blue and green. You would see the other colors too, and I really did not want to introduce the other colors into this layout, so I went ahead and skipped that. I quickly discovered that I don't have enough hexagons to do this completely on my page, so I go ahead and cut out more. And now that way I can throw away the remaining bits of these cards because I feel like I have effectively used them. Could I punch out even smaller shapes on these cards? You bet your sweet bippy I could. Am I going to? You bet your sweet bippy I am not going to. They go straight in the bin. And I am tickling Lana, who is sitting across from me right now. She is thoroughly enjoying this. Now, I do go ahead and place this down here, and I'm trying to have a good mix of colors and a good, I don't know, just the way they make me feel. So I talk about this a lot, but scrapbooking is a very emotional process for me. So if I love something, I'm doing it. If it evokes a cool feeling in me, like happiness, whatever, get a little thrill, whatever that happy feeling inside of you is, like listen to that while you're scrapbooking. I don't really subscribe to the fact that I have to follow design rules. Sometimes design rules make me happy and give me joy. But you don't really have to. And, you know, when you're doing these kinds of things, there is a thought of you shouldn't have like ones together. Like there should be space between them. And I have two camera hexagons basically in a line, and probably shouldn't be doing that according to design rules. But you know what? What makes Sandy happy rules? That makes Sandy happy. So that's what I'm doing. Now, I will give you guys a little bit of a warning. My husband does call. It messes with my video. The video stops videoing. I don't know what it is. Sometimes when he calls, the iPad stops recording. Sometimes when he calls, the iPod still records. So I don't know what the deal is, like why it goes one way sometimes and the other way another time. But this is one of those times where it gets cut off. So I am going to finish putting on some hexagons. I'm going to pop on a title that says Super Meal. I add on a Scrap and Happy Studio epoxy flare over by the word meal, and then add some dots. So some of these are puffy dots and some of them are enamel dots. And of course I added the hidden Mickey because this is the album that a hidden Mickey will be on every single page. Some of the layouts, you know, get their hidden Mickeys while I'm creating it. Some of them will get it when I fully put the album in order. But there it is, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is the last Follow a Sketch Friday video until we start Follow a Sketch February on February 1st. And February 1st will also mark one entire year of uploading at least one video a day to YouTube. I'll see you guys again real soon for another video.